Bienvenidos to another podcast of the Realty Talk with SANETI Realty. And if you're new to our podcast, this is a space that you can communicate with us via messages, and we want to share with you all the experience we have in real estate, news, experiences, and whatever it will help you to purchase your property that you're looking to invest in real estate, to sell, or to lease. Today we have one of our top producers and one of our agents, Yvonne Tovar. Hey Yvonne, how are you?
Hi, doing good. Thank you for having me.
Hey, Yvonne, tell me, how long you been in real estate with SANETI?
So I've been with SANETI about 3.5 years now. I started with SANETI and I'm still going strong with them.
That's good. I like that. So what's your experience? Tell me a little about you.
Well, I'm a Rio Grande Valley native. I was born and raised here. My background is in dental hygiene. I've been a dental hygienist for over 20 years. I started doing real estate about 3.5 years ago. I do a little bit of acting, and I recently got my license to sell insurance.
Oh, wow. So you're doing a lot of things. So for those of you that they're planning to have a career in real estate, and I know some offices don't want to have part-time agents. I don't mind. And I will tell you something. This year, well, since you started, Yvonne has been one of the top producers, and you're killing it this year. You're doing great.
Thank you.
So, and she's not doing just one; she's doing like a 3 gigs. You know, the acting, the dentist, and the real estate. So, Yvonne, what would you say is your specialty in real estate, or what you like the most? You know, working with sellers, with buyers, leasing. What do you like the most?
I like, I like real estate in general, but if I had to choose, I would say that I like working with buyers. They're my favorite. The reason why is because I guess it's the fulfillment for me. Like afterwards, like handing over the keys, especially to my first time home buyers, it really, really is fulfilling, and I love it. I love being out there helping them shop for the right house, and I love my sellers too. Don't get me wrong, but the buyers just hold a special place in my heart.
You know what? You're right, because I remember when I started in real estate, it was back in California in 2004, and I specialized too in buyers, because when you're starting, like because you don't have that much experience,
Right.
Sellers tend to do interviews and talk to 3 or 4 agents, and they want to go with an agent that has more experience than you, right?
Right.
On paper, because sometimes you can be new to real estate, but you have other experience in life, right? In other topics, right? But buyers, they work with you, and I remember that. You know, I was the only one to speak Spanish over there in California in that office.
Okay.
So when there was all these first-time home buyers and from the Hispanic community, they sent it to me.
Yeah.
And that feeling that you have when you get, you know, the husband, wife, and the kids, the kids of his first house.
Yes.
It feels good. It feels very good, right?
It really, really does. And you know, I recently I had a closing, and it was the husband, and he has 2 little girls, and he was able to give that for his wife. And then afterwards, you know, after the closing, everybody hugged and pictures and whatnot. And then I still received a message from him afterwards, and he was just like, Yvonne, thank you so much for helping us, like making, you know, my wife's dream come true. And that just felt amazing. So that's why I prefer my buyers, because of the feeling that you get of helping them and then watching them, you know, walk into their first home. So that to me was like, so I could definitely do more of that all day long.
That's great. So let's start talking then about buyers, and then we can talk about sellers.
Okay.
So if there is somebody who wants to buy a property out there, you know, they say that first-time home buyer, why they should choose you as their agent and SANETI Realty, because you're part of SANETI Realty. What would you say is the difference? So how you help them, how you guide them during the whole process?
Well, I think that anybody can learn real estate. Anybody can go out there and get a license. But the thing that makes me different, I believe, in SANETI different, is the heart behind it. So everything that I do with all the different hats that I wear, whether it's dental hygiene, whether it's real estate, or even with the insurance, they're all connected, because it's about helping others. And I love helping others. Family is real big to me. If you look at any of my Instagram stories, you can see that family is really, really big for me. And I think that's why SANETI was a really good fit for me, because we are like a family and we actually do care. Like I said, anybody can have a real estate license, but not everybody cares, you know? So I think that's what you get with me. That's what you get with SANETI, is you aren't just a client. You actually do become a part of family. And how are you going to treat family? I mean, you treat family. I mean, I treat my family better than I treat myself, because in nature, I'm just a giver. So I think that's what sets me apart. That's what helps me with these connections that I've had with dental hygiene, and they continue to follow me into real estate, is because they know people recognize genuine, like when you're genuine,
Yes.
so I think that's one of the big differences that myself as a realtor and the brokerage brings to the table.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear that because you're correct. When we started this company, I started with my three kids, and
Yes.
you know my kids, right?
Yeah.
And then when more agents came on board, and I think since the beginning we had the same core of agents. You know, couple agents left, and couple agents came back too,
Right,
right?
I've seen it.
So yes, I hear what you said, and I like it because that's what Saneti is, and you clearly you represent that at the best. So, and what is the process for a buyer? What they need to do? What steps until you find them the perfect home, the right home for them?
So, I mean, obviously they want to get pre-approved. So you don't want to take your buyer out to shop for homes that they probably can't afford. You don't want to give them any kind of false hope. So I always introduce them to one of our preferred lenders, somebody that we've worked with that we trust. And then once they're pre-approved, then we start, I ask them questions, ask a lot of questions. What is it that they're looking for? Do they want to be close to certain schools? Do they want to be in a certain neighborhood? How many bedrooms do they need? Do they need a big yard? Do they have big dogs? Do they have a mother-in-law that they might want to move in later on? All these questions that you want to ask them because you want to go and show them homes that's going to be a good fit for them. So interview your buyers, get to know them. Were they living in a small apartment and now space is really important to them? Do they want an open concept? Do they need an office space? So I like to interview my buyers, find out what their need is, and then after that, just go and shop around with them. We like to do a lot of open houses. I like to go to a lot of open houses because it's very different than showing a buyer photos of a home as opposed to them walking in and getting the feel and actually seeing the home in person. It's very different.
And I like that you say that because we are in the valley here in our real estate association, this GMAR, the Greater McAllen Realtors Association. We are close to 2,000 agents, and you talk with all the different agents from different offices, and I hear some agents that they don't like to go and show a lot of properties to the buyers. They rather have it in the office. Let's check the properties in a TV, and then you choose one or two or three, and then you show those in person. For what I hear, you're different, right? And you can explain why. But what would be your message to the buyers out there about that? About why you follow that approach that go out and show these properties.
Well, I think it's a great opportunity for the buyers to get a feel of the neighborhood, which you're not going to be able to feel that on a photo.
That's correct. Yeah.
You're going to walk into this home, and whenever a seller's agent stages a home the perfect way, and shout out to those agents that really set the mood, with the candles and the music, and I mean that makes a big impression on a client, on a buyer. So those are the things that you're not going to be able to see when you look at a photo. So that's why I like taking them in there. I like them to visualize, like, I could live here, and they walk in, and especially if they see like the candles and, oh, do you remember that house that we went to? The one with the pretty candles? Oh, yes. And then we've walked into homes that's like, oh, do you remember the macaroni house? Because there was macaroni on the sink. That's how I name my homes. And the buyers, that's gonna go to the top of their list. They're not gonna remember, oh, do you remember the address, or the photo from MLS number so and so? No, they're gonna remember the home that they actually walked into. They actually got to get a feel for it. I also like them to, you always hear people say, this isn't your house, don't be going in. No, with my buyers at an open house, open the drawers, look in the closets, see if anything cracked or not working. This is your opportunity to really get a feel of the house, to look for any discrepancies that you're not going to be able to see in a photo. Is there any water leaks? Does the roof look a little funny? Are there any cracks in the foundation? Certain things like that. But that's the reason I like to actually walk the client to the house as opposed to just sending them photos or meeting with them in an office.
That's good. Let's say that you already have your buyer already, you showing 3, 4, 5, 6 houses, and they choose the property they want. What's next? Because a lot of people don't understand out there, the work of a realtor. They think that you representing the seller, you just put a sign and then you get a seller and that's it. Or
Right.
you show the houses and you write the contract and that's it. And that's far from the truth. Sometimes the real work start after you open escrow, right?
Definitely.
What you do for your buyers there?
So before we even go into escrow, if my buyer falls in love with the house, then what I say is, okay, let me go and do my homework now. This is a house that you like. So then what I do is I go home and I start to work, right? I'm going to find any comparables, anything that has sold in the area that's similar to that house, because I want to make sure that my buyer is not overpaying, or once we go in for it with an offer, or going in with a really high offer when that house is probably not worth that. So I'm going to do my homework and make sure that what has sold in the area, if there's any comparables, that way when we go in with an offer, the other agent, sometimes they'll say, well, where did you get this number from? Well, this is where I got my number from. So I do my work, and then after that, once we do agree on an offer, and let's say we do go into escrow, then now the wheels, we hit the floor running, because now we're on a limited time, and we start getting inspection. You always want to get an inspection to make sure, because yes, you walk the home, but we don't, there's a lot of little hidden things that we might not see when you're walking it that the inspector will. So we get inspection going, and then that gives us an opportunity to decide, is this something that we want to continue to move forward with? Or you know what, maybe we need to pump the brakes because there's some things that came out that we didn't see when we walked the home.
Perfect. That's true, and it's great that you're sharing this with our friends and followers here. So you put an offer, you do inspections, and then what's next?
So then after that, we do the inspection. If there's anything that comes back in the inspection report, let's say the roof looks a little funky, then we want to get a specialist to come in there. Maybe if the AC is not working properly, you get a specialist to come in and do that. We start negotiating, right, with the seller. If there's any negotiations that need to happen, we'll do that. And then hopefully once everybody agrees on the inspection, then we can move forward and start setting up the survey and the appraisal. So it doesn't end there. There's a saying that says, don't count your chickens before they've hatched.
Yeah.
And in real estate, that is very, very true. So there's many steps. So after inspection, you got your survey, you got your appraisal, because the home still needs to appraise. And once it appraises, then you're kind of, you're seeing the finish line. Yeah.
What happened is house didn't appraise. It came like $5,000, $10,000 under price.
Right, and that's happened to me before. So if the house doesn't appraise, then you're going to have a conversation with your buyer and then with the seller's agent, and let them know that, hey, there's a gap. Right? Because the bank isn't going to lend you more than what the house is worth. So at that point, then you need to ask your buyer, is this house worth it? Do you want to pay the difference? Or is the seller willing to meet you halfway or come down on that price?
And I want to say that you will try to negotiate that your buyer doesn't need to pay.
Oh,
more,
definitely. Yeah.
right?
When I say, are you willing to pay, is because we've already negotiated, and sometimes the seller just won't budge. So then at that point, I don't want to make a decision for my buyer, but I will, guide them and say, look, no, it's really not worth it. I think we can find you something better in the market. But if they absolutely love it, then I just want to make sure that, okay, just so you are going to be paying a little bit more out of pocket. And if they agree with that, well, then it's their choice. But I guide them the best I can.
Okay, so inspections, you negotiate for repairs, everything goes good. You have the survey, you have appraisal good. What's next? And I know people maybe don't know this, but some words that there sound like magic for agencies, CTC, right?
Oh, yeah.
So what is that?
Okay, so when I was a first agent, I was working with a lender, and it was really funny because he sent me a message and he said CTC, and he was so excited. Yeah, and I was like, so there I am, Googling, what does CTC mean? Now I know, now when I see CTC, I'm like, yes. So that's clear to close. In case you guys, any new agents out there, don't be embarrassed if you don't know what CTC is. You will learn it very fast. CTC is the finish line. That means we're clear to close. So now we set up a date that the buyers can go in and sign. Sellers go in and sign, and then you celebrate. You celebrate once everyone's signed, because I have actually been on the table for CTC. We were super excited, and then survey came back. They ended up turning in the survey that same day, and unfortunately it was landlocked, but I saved my clients from buying something that they shouldn't have. But yeah, so CTC's finish line's almost there, but once you get your check in your hand, then that's when it's a done deal.
Yeah, that's true. And well, all you out there, you just hear what an agent do. It's not just to find your house or to put a for sale sign. There is a whole process afterwards, and a lot is negotiation, right?
Right.
You're negotiating the best terms for your client. In this case, the buyer, right?
Yes.
Okay, Yvonne, let's jump to sellers because I know in my office in SANETI Realty, you're maybe one of the agents that do the most open houses. You like to do open houses. So, and I hear also a lot that, hey, open houses, you don't want to sell the house in an open house or you want to have a buyer. And right now in the valley, people don't go to open houses.
Right.
So there is a way to do a successful open house, right? And I would like for you to share with us how, and also why it's important an open house since the seller's point of view and you as an agent point of view.
Right. Well, I mean, and there are a lot of myths about open houses not being successful, and I don't think that's true. I think that if you stage it right, an open house can be very, very helpful for your buyers and your sellers. I mean, for your seller, this is your opportunity to showcase your home. So obviously you want to declutter because you want your buyer to walk in there and picture them their things there, not yours. And I mean, first impression, right? The way I open houses, the way I see it is, let's say you're a married couple, right? You've heard of date night, right?
Yeah.
Well, this is date night, like or date
I like that.
date.
I like that.
Yeah, it really is, because let's say you're going to go shopping with your spouse for furniture. I mean, it's a whole day thing, right? You're going to get in the car, we're going to go look for couches, and we're going to try this place and that place. It's the same thing when you're buying homes. You're a new home buyer, you're out there shopping, you're excited. You get in the car on a weekend and you're out shopping. So why wouldn't you want your house open? It's like a business. If you're hungry, this place is closed. Well, let's go check this other place out. Why would you want your house closed? You want your house open, you want it prepared, you want it on the market so that when these couples are on their date, right, shopping for homes, your home is one of the ones that they're going to walk into. And now guess what? Now your home is going to go to the top of their list as opposed to something that they just saw on paper. So open houses they really, really do work. You just have to do it right. And be consistent about it. Don't give up, because there are people out there shopping, and I've seen it before where they walk in and they fall in love with your home that wasn't even on their list, but they drove by and they saw an open house.
Okay, so if I'm a seller, I want to sell, why should call you? And I just been about open houses, and I can see that you really you like the open houses. So what also besides the open houses, how you will help your seller?
I'm going to help my seller by bringing in more traffic. Also helping them stage their home. I'm going to guide you. A lot of people don't know, but it like I said, first impression counts. So I'm going to help you with the lawn, with the appearance of of staging the home. The curb appeal is what I was looking for. Also, cleaning it. A lot of people don't think that a clean home should be, like your windows. You want your windows clean, your floors clean. I'm going to help you promote it. Also with flyers, we have access to all the realtors in the valley. So what we do is we announce your open house on the matrix on GMAR. We send out flyers. So we're just making it more accessible to buyers who are out there searching for a home. So your home is going to be on the market, not just on paper, but people are actually be able to walk into it.
So what is the timeline for a seller? And I'm maybe not talking about how many days on the market, because right now we have a lot of inventory, right?
Right.
It's maybe this is the year that we have the most inventory in the history of our association. That's why I just find out. We find out, right?
Yes.
Last training. So, but what will the timeline? So they call you. I'm assuming that you also want to do a CMA like you do for your buyers to present it and choose a price, and then contracts. And what is the timeline?
Okay, so the timeline, I would say about a good 4 to 6 months.
Okay.
I mean, to get it prepared and then get it on the market and then open houses and then completely sold, I would say about 6 months.
And that makes sense because, like I said, right now there's a lot of inventory, it's a lot of
Right,
options. So
right.
the properties are staying more in the market. So that's why it's important to work with an agent that knows what he's doing, because if you wanna short that timeline, you need to have your house being out there the best, right? Stand out from the
Right.
other properties, right?
Right. You don't want it just sitting there.
Yeah, exactly. So what would you do to make that property stand out from the rest?
Well, I think I'm really big on banners. I have a lot of personal banners that I put out for sale, not just a small sign. I also like to do a lot of social media, a lot of videos walking through the home. I even have friends that do drones. And what they do is they'll fly the drone inside the house to make a video. So just market it, put it out there. Everything can kind of go to the back of the file if you're not just marketing it all the time. So just put it out there, just like anything. When you see an ad for something, it usually takes about 3 to 4 times that you see it that you say, you know what, let me try it. Same thing with the houses. If you don't market it and it's not in your face, then you're going to forget about it. So I always try to just keep it current and keep it, you know. Just fresh and in people's minds. That way, if they think about a home, you know what, I just saw this one, let's go look at it.
Okay, no, that's good. And now you know why you should, one, go to SANETI Realty, and two, go with Yvonne Tovar, because she's really, like I said, you're really killing it. You're doing very good, right?
Thank you.
So we still have some time, and I want to talk a little about, maybe not real estate, but tell me, you've been in some movies here in the Valley, you're in acting. So can you share that experience with us too?
Yes. So believe it or not, the Valley it has a lot of talented people, and we also have a film industry here in the Valley. I started doing acting about 3.5 years ago. I started with commercials. I have done some feature films that are actually on Amazon Prime. So if you want to,
Oh, really?
yeah. So if you want to what is it? Support your local artists, you can go on Amazon Prime and find me there. You can search my name, Yvonne Tovar, and there's 3 films, like I said, that are on Amazon that you can purchase for like $3.
What is those films' names?
One is called Find Me. The other is Halloween Night. And the other one is, oh my gosh, what's the other one? Black Clown, sorry. You can actually find me on Amazon. And there's a couple of commercials, local commercials that I do also. Mott's Cash and Carry is one of them, Junior Supermarket. So yeah.
Well, like you can see right now that we have very talented people in SANETI Realty. So, Yvonne, something that you want to say before we say goodbye to this episode?
I just want to say thank you for coming on and listening to us. SANETI Realty is a great brokerage. We are like a family here, and we invite you to become a part of our family.
You want to share your social media?
Yes, definitely. I'm on Instagram. You can find me on EV Does It, or just type in my name, Yvonne Tovar. Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. You can go to my web page, which is www.valleygirlrealty.com.
Well, thank you, Yvonne, to be here with us today. And this is another episode of our podcast, the Realty Talk. So anything you want for us to talk about, please send us a message. You can DM us here in our YouTube channel. And thanks for joining us.